Hello. Today I wanted to focus on the different building tiers and really give some insight onto what upgrading does for you. And for my particular example, I am starting with the foraging huts. Um, you've got your tier 1 foraging hut, which is the very first level, of course, and it has 150 storage slots and can forage any of the items listed. And as you can see, it also tells you how many you currently have in stock. Fine and dandy. It works great. Um, then you get to tier 2, which looks like this. And it has 200 slots, so not a huge amount of extra slots in that upgrade. And it forges the same items. So, depending on who you are, you might say, well, that's not really worth the upgrade. However, the added bonus for this tier 2 is this lovely little forager rack, where once you get the berries or mushrooms foraged, you can put them on this rack to dry them and make dried berries and dried mushrooms. That is totally worth it, in my opinion. Then you go up to your tier 3 building, which is the foraging lodge. And it has 300 slots, so an extra 100 slots, which,
I'm working.
great. More slots, whatever. Still can forage the same items, which is to be expected because they're all the forageable items. The problem, in my opinion, with going up to level 3 is it does not have this drying rack. Which, depending on who you are, may not matter because you're like, well, I'm using tier 3 foods. I don't need dried berries and dried mushrooms. To me, though, the dried berries and dried mushrooms are fantastic for feeding your people. It's just a no-brainer to me. They last longer than the regular berries and mushrooms. It keeps them, happy. They're easy to set up in outposts, so those people are not hungry in the winter time. They can pick their berries and mushrooms, dry them out, and have them when it's winter so that they're still eating. It's just all around better to me. So if it were my game, I'd advise sticking with the tier 2, not upgrading to tier 3 on the foraging hut. Alternatively, for armories, forges, weapons, definitely tier 3 is the way to go. For one, you can't make the older stuff. Like, I can't make an iron hammer on a tier 1 blacksmith. I have to have the tier 3. So, if you want to don the best weapons and best armor, you definitely want to upgrade to the tier 3 on those types of buildings. As far as food is concerned, really that depends on how you want to play your game. And so for me, I was so excited. I couldn't wait. I wanted the tier 3 cooking building, which is the bakery. Had to have it pushed for that to be the first thing we did because I wanted the better food, etc. Well, I found myself a little bit disappointed. Um, tier 1 is just putting down cauldron with pot or cauldron on a campfire or the smoking rack, right? Your next tier is this lovely little building, which is the inn, which is kind of cool, but it kind of annoyed me too at first. So when you put down the inn, it automatically places a cauldron and a smoking rack on both sides. So you've got a cauldron and smoking rack there, and then you've got another one over here. I think that's kind of cool, but I'd rather them all be really close together so that I'm not running back and forth. Just my opinion. That being said, you can, in you can make the spiced soups and stews and spices, which are tier 3 foods. The other added benefit is this doubles as a sleeping quarters for 10 of your followers. So 10 of your villagers sleep here, and then you have your ability to make food on the outside. So it is worth it. I just wish it was configured a little bit differently. The other building, the tier 3 building, as I said, is the bakery. And we've got our bakery over here. When we started planning out our final town, we didn't realize how huge these buildings were going to be. And if so, we would have laid it out a bit differently because we really wanted all of our food stuff to be together, etc. So this tier 3 building is the bakery, which has some trade-offs, okay? So in here you can make things like bread, which you can see. So first of all, if you look down at what you've got, it's everything takes 6 through 9 cooking skill. Great, right? You can also see the duration of the food. So this apple pie lasts for 7 in-game hours and gives 90 stamina regeneration and 28 health regeneration. That's awesome stamina regeneration. The thing that disappoints me is, as you can see, it says apple pie. If you look at bread, you see bread parentheses 2. That tells you how many items you get from that recipe. So you get 1 apple pie. You get 1 berry bread. You get 1 berry scone. You get 2 honey cakes. 2 spiced meat. 1 spiced meat roast. For the stats, I understand that. I mean, you don't want to just have everybody decked out all the time in high power food. But it costs, or not costs, it takes, as you can see, the spiced meat roast duration, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's how long it takes to make one single meat roast. 3 minutes and 20 seconds for the 2 meat pies. 2.5 minutes on the honey cakes. I don't want to spend that much time cooking to prepare for going into battle. And I definitely don't want to make that stuff and stockpile it because it will get eaten by my villagers who are just doing research, which is not a good use of the stats that it brings. So I really, well, and then if you look at it as opposed to in if you look at it compared to over here, I get 2 spice stews that last for 8 hours in 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but I can make 4 at a time because I have 2 cauldrons. Same with these. I can do 4 at a time because I've got my thing. Or I can just, go back to my hot, fine stew, which is also an 8-hour duration, but I get 4 of them from one cauldron. The stats aren't as good, but this is perfect for feeding my villagers more quickly and not having to worry about standing at the fire all day long. I don't typically, if we're just standing or building and gardening and researching, we don't make that kind of food. We just have them eat the vegetables and fruits. But when we are cooking, we need a lot of food and we need it quickly. So to me, the bakery is not worth it. You really probably are better off to go with the inn just because you can feed more people more quickly. Now, honestly, that's gonna, again, depend on your play style and what you exactly want to do. We don't actually even take our villagers to fight anymore. We just fight. My husband and I just fight, the 2 of us. And in a previous video, I did show you our tactic to do that without having a terribly difficult time. You can feel free to go watch that. I appreciate the views on there. But again, these are just my opinions for our play style. And for those who are, really wanting to have your army fighting consistently, the higher tier buildings may be better for you. I just don't find it necessary for my game style. Anyway, I hope that helps a little bit, and we will be back with another video in the near future. So have a great day, and see you on the flip side. Bye.